Way back in 2008, I was still regularly posting stories and commenting on them. I did that roughly from, I would say, 2004 to maybe 2016. Unfortunately, when I moved my website, I wasn't able to keep all this stuff. But we have archive.org, and that's nice because I can find the old stories and comments through their website. So I figured I would go over a couple things that I posted that were commonly dismissed as paranoia and or conspiracy theory just a handful of years ago. 2008 really isn't that long ago. This one's regarding the FDA and how they conspired with the chemical industry to declare BPA harmless. That's the story that I posted. I'm going to read the comment underneath here. But, while we're talking about the FDA, just do a little bit of research into how much of the FDA's budget is actually funded by the people that they're regulating. It's something that you should look into. But anyway, here we go. Multi-billion-dollar companies will always apply their enormous influence directly to the levers of power. Always. In other words, they will always seek to shape government regulation in a way that limits or destroys their competition and, if possible, even lobby government to make the use of their products mandatory, as in mandatory vaccinations. Again, just crazy at the time. But I had another one here that provides a little bit more insight into the angle of another comment here. It provides a little bit of insight into the angle of what's going to happen to all you people who think that this is a good idea, what's going on right now. I just want you to try to imagine what's going to happen if you ever accept this universal health care thing. I want you to just try to imagine a situation where it's, yeah, you've got health care, but you have to do this. Okay? So let's just take the booster shots as an example. Yeah, you're fine. You got your health care right now because you're fully vaccinated. But when the booster shot comes, you're going to have to get that or no health care. And if they say you need another booster shot, you got to get that too or no health care. I know it sounds crazy, but just look at what they're doing right now and consider that possibility, okay? But let me just read what I wrote back in 2008 when I was just a crazy conspiracy theorist. This was regarding where they were, floating the balloons, man, seeing what they could get away with trying to force children under 5, trying to force them to have a flu vaccine. Okay, most people are correctly worried about losing their right to choose what goes into their bodies and the bodies of their children. Or to put it another way, they're not ready to hand that decision over to Big Pharma and the government. We cannot ignore the fact that these mandatory vaccination policies are being written at the behest and for the benefit of multi-billion-dollar drug companies. Companies that use their money and influence to secure the favor and coercive power of government so they can literally force their products down your throat. God forbid the universal health care scam is ever passed. Who knows what other mandatory vaccinations, or other drugs for that matter, will be added to the menu at that point. I can hear the sales pitch now. Sounds a little bit familiar. Does it sound like what you heard today from Biden? As a nation, we simply cannot bear the unnecessary cost of those who refuse these life-saving medications. They are a threat to themselves, they are a threat to the rest of us, and they are a threat to the newly created trillion-dollar river of money flowing into the pharmaceutical industry's pockets. Scratch that last part. So yeah, I tried to end it with a little bit of humor there, but this isn't funny, folks. I don't know if it was today. I saw the footage today. I'm not really sure when it was that Biden went on national television and just coming out of the President of the United States' mouth himself, stating that they're losing patience. I'm not going to rant. I'm just going to leave it at this. We have to resist this, people. We have to. And for the people who don't understand why this is absolutely ridiculous, it can only be because they're only listening to information that's being provided for the explicit purpose of manipulating them. They're not listening to any other experts because those experts aren't on the stations that they watch. They're not listening to any of the other arguments, looking at any of the other studies. They're being taken in by fake news. I hate to use that word. It's so cliche, but fake news that ivermectin is just a horse dewormer. So, yeah, we got work to do. If we don't fight it now, it's just going to get worse. So wherever you are, in whatever capacity you have the ability to resist this insanity, support your governors that are going to stand up against this craziness, and act locally however you can.
I can't go there with the elderly and very high-risk groups. I personally believe that what is achievable, because that's the world I try to live in, is prohibition on vaccination from infants, newborns, through young adults age 30 to 35. And specifically, I'm trying to target stopping this crazy effort to force universities and schools to have universal vaccination, which is that we can argue about risk benefit for elderly, but the risk benefit ratio for newborns through young adults is explicitly clear. It is upside down. It's not subtle. You're going to kill more. And personally, I also feel that we can dig in really hard on the reproductive health and pregnancy in women. That there just aren't data to support the use of this product in because of the potential female reproductive health consequences. And there are emerging data to document these menometrorrhagia, dysmenorrhea, and I don't even know what to call in the rekindling of menses in the postmenopausal woman. And there is signal suggesting that we are having first and second trimester increased spontaneous ABs, and those things I think those are winnable battles, and that's kind of where I live, is what can we actually achieve? Because if we come out and say universal, there's 60% of the world's population that are just going to label us as crazies. Over.
Yeah. I would agree with a moratorium on any requirement for military personnel or collegiate or secondary students, period, across the board. This is not the sample of our population to be testing something out that we do not have full data on. And I have real concerns about some of the funding issues that are being used behind the scenes to manipulate these individuals. And we are coming up to a critical time period where these universities and school systems are starting. And I've had lots of military personnel concerned. And if we play devil's advocate on this, and we are even close to being correct, to do this to our military is potentially devastating. To do it to our children is worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing is, we're not bringing up the COVID recovered. The immune status should be more important than the vaccination status. So I think there's three groups that are easily winnable arguments: pregnant women, the young, and 0.1 per 100,000 in these young, no comorbidities, and actually the COVID recovered. We can't forget that. I mean, that's a lousy thing to do, is to get all these people that are COVID recovered, good immune status, and give them a vaccination for something they don't need.
It's hard to beat the fact that if you actually have memory cells to an infectious process, that you don't have immunity.